Lady says, hit me with the hardest truth. And bruh laid down some interesting ideas to her. I won't say this is the hardest truth, but I definitely think a lot of individuals, ladies, even guys, think this way, right? Always said on this channel, there's no formula, right? But one thing I'm sure of is setting standards. Not necessarily saying no one should have standards, but setting all these barriers and things, thinking is going to put you at a better advantage of finding the right person. Nah, just like what you like and be honest about what you like. Not because of society, not because of all that. Um, Doing all that, making a man jump through hoops, or making a lady do certain things, qualify and all that. It's not a guarantee that that individual is going to last longer with you or be that person that you're looking for just because they do all those things. This is a hard truth. As I always say, the first reality when you come into this world, also the first rule when you come into this world is that one, nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporary, no matter how long it lasts. If you don't mess it up, the world will mess it up. What I mean, if y'all don't break up because of cheating or misunderstandings or whatever have you, distance, death will take it. You know what I'm saying? Or something will happen. You know what I'm saying? So nothing lasts forever. Secondly, you don't know how long you have it. So if you go in with the mindset of I want something to last, or else I'm not going to deal with it, yeah, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, pain, because you don't have that control. None of us do. That's the whole thing about being alive, right? Every second, every moment, something could happen, change anything. So that idea of applying pressure, doing all that, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna meet the right man. That's the truth. Guys as well, the certain standards. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna meet the right woman, right? Just be yourself, be who you are. And one thing I've always said is, if it's not effortless, if it doesn't come naturally, smoothly, where you're not putting any pressure, you're not putting any effort, the other person is not putting any effort, but it's just smoothly, the relationship, the dating, whatever, it just came in just like that naturally. If it's not that way, I don't think there's a point to it, because as I said, it doesn't matter if you put pressure or not. At the end of the day, it might last, it might not. It's always 50-50. As I said, I learned a long time ago, whether you're doing what you love or you're doing what you hate, it's 50-50 that it might last or it might work. So if you go with that mindset, you might as well do what you love and play that chance of 50-50 as opposed to doing what you don't love. So if when it comes to dating, if you setting all these barriers and all these things, or applying pressure, as they say, to guarantee that this individual is going to be that individual, it's still 50-50. It might not be. A lot of people have been cheated on. A lot of people have been lied to. You're not in somebody's head to know how they're thinking all the time. To the second point that brought to the table, which is some women are looking for weddings and not marriages. That's also true, right? Guys as well, right? Because I always say, in a relationship, whatever, dating, however you want to call it, the only people that matter is you and the individual, not their family members, not their friends, just you and the individual, right? If marriage was such a big deal, you care about, me personally, of course, if you're religious, that's your belief, that's different. But I definitely believe that titles, all that good stuff, marriages, it's more for other people than for yourself. Because if you all are locked in, you all have this understanding of who we are, what we are, why do you care about a ring or all these other things, unless, as I said, your religion, right? So to me personally, yes, I also do understand that what bro is saying about women wanting weddings and not marriages, because marriage is long term. Some individuals just want to have that ring so others can see. Some people just want to have that event, that crazy event where everybody gets to see how this man dresses or this woman. I definitely understand, and so to some degree agree with it. Now, not everybody is that way, right? We are all playing this game of life. As I said, there is no formula for this, so we do not know exactly what it is that's going to get us to the person we're looking for. But we understand that if we do not play the game of life, if we do not get hurt, we will never be happy, right? If we do not play the game of life, we will never score, we will never win, we will never, so it's part of the whole process. To me, I understand where Burr's coming from with this, you know what I mean? And as I said, it applies not for only women, it applies for men as well, right? Key thing, there's no formula. Other thing, be happy. No matter what you're doing, even in challenges, individuals can be happy. And if you've never experienced something like that, then I don't think you're in the right path. Because if you, for example, going to the gym, right? You're going through pain and struggling and all that good stuff. But if you enjoy going to the gym, you go there every day for the way it makes you feel, for the results you get. Even for the times where you don't get the results, it just feels good going through that little pressure that you go through. So you can definitely be happy in the struggle. It's not always about the idea that, only when there's no struggle, then I'm gonna be happy. So what I mean is relationships can go on where both of you are locked in, but maybe the external things, maybe work is not so good, or where you're living is not so good, or you're not earning enough money, but that doesn't stop the love or the feeling in the relationship. As I said, life has way too many variables for us to think that 1 + 1 = 2 all the time. That's just how we were raised, so we can understand with our little kid brains. We can understand reality. Imagine telling the kid, "Oh, this stuff doesn't matter." Kid would not understand that, right? But we had to evolve. First, they teach us, the structure, and then as you get older, you realize, oh yeah, 1 + 1 doesn't always = 2. Sometimes it comes out to 3. Sometimes it comes out to -1. So you get what I'm saying. So in this situation, yes, I definitely say all the time, there's no formula for this thing, right? Making somebody jump through hoops, meeting certain standards, all that doesn't matter. What do you love? What are you looking for? What is your preference? You know what I mean? Once the person hits that, that's all. You should be free. Making them wait 10, 15 years before you meet them, or you got to, like some individuals will say, I don't want to just meet you if you're, they say you meet somebody online, right? And the lady's like, I don't want to just meet you. You could be a killer and all that. Like, it stops a killer from waiting 1 year or even 1 week, whatever it is, to still get, eventually you go and meet, and whatever plan they have, actually you giving them enough time to come up with their plan, right? So all that stuff doesn't matter. That's why I say this so many times. There is no formula for this. What makes you happy, go with that. Because at the end of the day, it's still 50-50. It might work, it might not work. You might, you know what I mean? So ultimately, my knowledge or my 2 cents, like I always chime in here, because of course this is Bro Talk, Land of Empathy, and I would love to hear other people's opinions. I've actually had some conversation with ladies, and they say it's just the way they feel, right? Some of them just feel good and willing to take that chance when, they're doing that. Like, they just feel more comfortable taking that chance. They're not necessarily guaranteed. It's just the way they feel. Now, I don't mind. If you comfortable, for you, it's about how you feel. Cool, it's how you feel. But do not think that the way you feel is going to guarantee that you're going to get the results you're looking for. Right? Ultimately, be happy, live a happy life, but there is no guarantee. I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. Y'all think there's a guarantee? Y'all think, in the old times, the old individuals had it better? Because I get that a lot, which I definitely have debunked a few times personally, saying, yeah, there was just not social media back then. These days, social media, there's a lot of things we can see, and we, all that back then when people were, with multiple women, but there was no way for the women to track the men. They think they're going to work. The man is going there to another family or dealing with this lady or whatever it is. Same thing with guys. When the women, you think your woman is faithful, whatever it is, she's going out there doing all this because there was no way, no phone tracker or none of that for you to track them. Mind you, if you have to go as far as trying to track them and do all that, there's no trust in there, right? So that's why I said there are too many variables for you to think that, you just not in the mind of nobody. And, why would you want to be in someone's mind? We're already going through our own challenges already. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to put your own burden on my burden. So either way, that's too many variables. Y'all can let me know what y'all think, man. Oh boy almighty, man. Got a positive vibes right here on Bro Talk, the land of empathy. You know what I mean? This is an interesting discussion. I think we can go forward with the discussion. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts about it. Peace and blessings.
Almighty push.
Do like you're supposed to. Do like you're supposed to. Do like you're supposed to. I say do like
Doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. They were bigger outside of what they did than what they did. I'm a great rapper, but you forgot about that right now because I'm doing so many other things. So that's what I want to be known for, all of the great things that I do outside of it.